What is going on, everybody? What is going on? I'm excited to be back. Lawrence Henderson here with Hot Takes with Boss. Y'all, we are all about leading with humility, openness, and transparency. And my transparent moment is life been life. And y'all, it's been a minute since we've done one of these episodes, but we are coming back swinging. And we have an amazing leader to kick us back off. These will be a regular weekly occurrence where you'll get to be introduced to some amazing thought partners, community leaders who are seeking to be hot in everything that they do. And so today we have Kim Cox Owens. What's going on, Kim?
Hello. How are you, Lawrence?
Everything is copacetic. And before we get rolling with your topic for today, which is an amazing one that I'm intrigued about, just tell people who you are, where you are in the world, and then we'll get rolling.
All right. Well, I am Kim Cox Owens. I am a native of Atlanta, born and raised right here. Not a Grady baby, but Crawford Loan was close enough. I'm the owner, broker of Cox and Company Real Estate. So I have my own brokerage firm. Also have a new venture since 2020. The pandemic had me going out thinking about how I can influence this community. So I created another organization called Family and Community Engagement Society, which bring together our community by supporting our school system.
I like it. I like it. And so, one of the first questions that I love to ask leaders is you described and the name of the new venture that I think it tells a little bit about you, but why do you do what you do?
Right. Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So I grew up with my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt, like my mother. Like I had three mothers, and they were always active in the community. They always was giving back to the community. And I remember people telling us when I was growing up, they used to call our house the shelter because my mother would take in people if they needed somewhere to stay. And she would even take in dogs. Like if it's cold outside, she's bringing dogs in the house as well. So from that and being in that atmosphere, I tended to see a need and wanted to give to that need, wanted to solve that need. And then also having two kids of my own, I saw the struggle of a lot of parents, single parents, and I just wanted to help them. I always wanted to be involved and make sure that everybody could get what I was told all my life, which was get that paper, get your high school diploma. You know, I went into high school and had a great experience with a mentor that also influenced me to not just get that paper, go to finish high school, but also go to college. So from that, it just made me really want to give back to the community and find out a way. And I was able to do that in real estate. I mean, I was selling the community every day. I was helping people that who would not otherwise get homes by helping them get the credit together, get the budget together, and then purchase a home. And it just went full circle for me to do it again in the atmosphere of supporting the school system.
I absolutely love that. And again, that's how we actually met. And you
Yes.
you and my amazing wife
Mm-hmm.
worked at the former Brown Middle School,
Yes.
now H.J. Russell Academy.
Exactly.
And again, just your title of just today's session is real estate and rebuilding our community. And it
Yes.
sounds like again, this is not just something you just dreamt up one day you wanted to start. It's actually
Mhm.
been in you this entire time. So when
Yeah.
you think about all of your leader personas, like what is the convergence of all the things that you are that led you to be leaning into how you engage the world today?
Yeah. So the community that I grew up in is called Pittsburgh. That's the neighborhood in downtown Atlanta. And we had our own grocery stores, hair salons, entertainment venues. We had all of that in our community, and we really didn't go outside the community. So I didn't know that I grew up in a poverty or at-risk community. When I was exposed to outside the community with my mentors with my mentor through school, I discovered there was more out there. And as I got older, I saw that we really didn't have that community like we used to have. Like people don't know their neighbors. People don't know the resources or may not even have resources in their community. So it made me feel like I need to help rebuild the community. And like you said, I met you through your wife. And I literally had a thriving real estate business, but I felt it necessary for me to get into the school system. So when I went and got into the school system, I was going to be a leader on the school council. That's what I was going to do. But someone said, "Hey, they have this position where they pay you to bring parents together and support them, and bring the community together and support them." So I ran in that door doing way more than what they thought they was going to get out of me, by always being in the community, telling people about this awesome school and how a school is not a community school until the community is involved in it. So I built relationships, and I brought those relationships to the school to make sure that the kids get exposed like how it was exposed, and also the parents to get the support that they needed. So we weren't likely dependent on any government assistance or anything like that, but we were dependent on ourselves as our own resources. And that's who I am. I'm a researcher. I'm going to find out what's out there, how we can grow together, how we can build a partnership. And that's why I have a thriving real estate company, because I don't just find you a house. I make sure you understand what's resources out there and what's going on in that area and what's likely going to happen after you move out into your home.
I love that. Like, there's so many nuggets inside of there, and some quotables that you like. You was dropping the mic on a couple things, and one of the ones that, particularly the idea and what it sounds like you were describing, why you needed to get back in the school, and again that connection to it personally, but now understanding what you've gotten access to, and there now being an understanding. I saw the picture of you being a bridge between
Okay.
parents, students, the school, and when you think about from an access and equity standpoint, what do you believe some of the biggest hurdles you've helped others overcome?
Yeah. So the biggest hurdle is educational confidence. Even though the best thing you can give your child is a free education in a public school, we didn't seem to thrive on that. We felt like it was something else to do, but not the way out. So my bridge was to make sure that the parents understand that the way out is through education, and that free education that your child is getting. Before you can give them a pair of Jordan that cost your arm and a leg, you can give them this free education and they can move further in life. But also the connectivity. A lot of reasons of why we don't have a thriving community from the basis of a thriving school as the heartbeat of the community is because of the connection, because we don't feel like this is our community. But once you started seeing that there are resources and you are that resource, then our parents started feeling connected. Our business owners start feeling connected to the school, because now they know what's going on in the school. They understand that they are a part of this school. And even the people that were moving in the community that did not have children or started a business but didn't live in the community, but their business was in the community, was all feeling connected together. So I feel like my way of giving back was bringing in that bridge of connectivity between the businesses, the homeowners, the students, the teachers in the school, but also by letting them understand what resources you can be to your community and what resources are in your community.
So y'all, so what I always find funny when I do these episodes, Kim, is how interconnected all of us leaders are, particularly when it comes to our mission, vision, and value prop. And so, as a leadership development consulting firm, what you're describing at that education, that school level, I think about that in all of the corporate spaces where our motto is we create connected communities in the workplace and beyond. And so that connection, being that bridge, that advocate, and again, the way that you said it, being able to build not just competence, but an educational confidence in students and even parents, educating them and not making them feel less than because they didn't know something. And so as you live life today, and I heard you're an empty nester. Congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
one.
Thank
Eh,
you.
What are you doing these days to continue leaning into your community work?
Yeah, so my son, the last one, graduated last year from high school, and I was on a school council at that time at his high school. I was the band mom that went to all the games and supported the band and whatever. And empty nester, I was not prepared for that this was coming to an end after raising kids for so long. And I went to the principal and I was like, so do I have to leave? Can I not volunteer in the school anymore? And he was like, no, you can continue to volunteer in the school. So I stayed on the school council. So I'm still working on the school council, but it gave me more opportunity to volunteer in the community. So I serve on a couple of boards in the community as well, but I also started traveling a lot. But the most important thing that I did was to continue to be a part of the community, a part of the school system, making sure that they understand that though my kids are not in the school, this school is in my community. So now my new venture is to become a school board member. So I will be running for office.
Woo! Boy, I'm so geeked up. Man, listen here. But and here's the one thing that I'm excited about with that. Because again, this is not something that you just one day you saw a t-shirt hanging up in Ross or JC Penney or something, and you was like, you know what, I think I should run for political office because that t-shirt told me to. It's always been in you. And in
Yes.
this season for you, it's you now getting to the place, and in this season, you're ready to now engage differently in the community. And so when you think about just an office like this, what makes this the next best step for you?
Well, I've really, really worked hard as a child advocate in my community, and even to the trenches of going to work in the school system, which didn't work out so well for me. But I got in the trenches, and I want to get in the trenches again to go and bring to these people in our community a understanding at their level of politics. Not everybody understand politics. So I want to be that person that's in the community. I'm already in the community. I'm already a community advocate. I'm already a child advocate. But now I want to bring that different level of understanding of politics to the community so the community can be involved. I'm not going to be just the leader or the person that you've elected, but I'm going to be the person that makes sure you understand how you play a part, and why is it important that you do play a part, and why is it important that we even have this political opportunity to say who's going to represent you, who's going to be represent your children. Education and educating children are the heartbeat of our communities. We want them to be educated, go out, get your degree, come back to that same community and give to that community. That's the reason why we even have communities, is to build them and make them a resource and dependence on each other. So my focus right now, after I've finished raising my kids, I have more time. My business is very secure. I have that down to a T. I've been in real estate now for 19 years as a owner of a company, but 26 years as an agent. And I know that this is the right time for me to give back, be that support system, and definitely rebuild these communities so they understand that it's not you in the community is in you.
Yes, 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 yes. And so just to anybody who wants to reach out and support you, you're in it's Fayette County, right?
Yes, it's going to be the Fayette County School Board District 3. So that's going to be the south side of Peachtree City.
Okay, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first. If you in GA and you reach out to Kim, already told Kim you getting the Henderson support. I need not only some additional steps each day, but want to make sure that we leaning in, because the community is inside of us. It's not just we're just in the community. It's literally we're in the community. The community's in us to do good work. And so when you think about this, your community in general, like what, in addition to what you've already named, what other gaps exist that you see a need or support for this next generation?
Yes, so I'm glad you said generation. That is the key thing right there. Right now, the leaders that we have in position, they're baby boomers. You're skipping over the Generation X and landing in the millennials that are now parents, and there hasn't been a connection. We've got to make that connection between generations. Now, what I have found, Generation X, they are bringing their parents into the home, where the baby boomers were sending their parents out to senior homes. So now I'm selling so many multi-generational houses where people have several generations living in the same house, but they got to be able to relate to each other and communicate with them. So the biggest gap that I'm seeing right now is the disconnection between parents and students. It's kind of like a roommate thing with the do now is to make that connection with the parents and the students so the parent can be very supportive of the student. It's not a separate life. Our job is to parent a child that is going to become an adult. So we're needing a lot of support there, especially with mental health. But we're having a situation where the parents are not feeling connected to anything and they're not connecting so much to their children. And then now that we have all these technologies and opportunities to do other things and be entertained without being entertained by each other, you're getting another disconnect. Like when I was growing up, the TV went off at 12. So I couldn't watch cartoon after 12. I couldn't watch cartoon anyway at night. It was a Saturday and an after school kind of situation. Now with my son, he could have watched cartoon 24/7. There was a cartoon station. Well, because of that opportunity to have a relationship, not directly with this entertainment called social media or the TV, people are not engaging with each other. So you see that gap in the community where people don't come out. I've had people say, I don't care about an association because I'm not going to go out there and talk to anybody. I'm not going to be a part of any activities that the community is doing. So my focus in my present community, and I definitely will continue to work in several different communities, not just the one I live in, is to make sure that we have that connectivity, not just in the community, but from the parent to the child to the grandparent as well.
You are there. You go again, being a bridge. There you go. And again, and that generational one again, as we do our work, we're seeing the need to help leaders develop to be able to go through and connect multi-level within their own organizations. Because again, if you think about it traditionally, they there wasn't a need to, because they overpopulated the workforce. And so now that you have, and in some cases you still got some traditionalists and baby boomers still in the workplace, so you're
Yeah.
talking about 5 generations
Yes.
of worker who, again, like you said, there were pecking orders, if you will. And it
Mhm.
was like, now your great grandparents, grandparents, parents, and now again, like, do I lead you? Do I parent you? And it was
Mhm.
like, no, it's be a resource.
Yeah.
Be somebody that's able to effectively communicate where
Mhm.
somebody else is, instead of you the same age as my child.
Mhm.
And
Right.
like, no, but I'm not your child.
Right.
And so you're not gonna talk to me like that. And so that conflict, and I love that you're again addressing it at that school age level, because
Mhm.
as I'm with my students at Morehouse, that's the kind of leadership conversations we have, like
Mhm.
putting them in the mindset of, hey, they're actually going to have to be a resource for the older generations in the workplace to say, hey, that may have been a thing, but it's
Yeah.
no longer a thing.
Yeah.
And so help them understand how to engage them by being able to assertively communicate. And
Yes.
so for you, the rebuilding communities, it's not just about real estate and all the rest of these things. It's about rebuilding identity. It sounds like
Yes. Yes.
is
It
that
is.
it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, um, we definitely want to have an identity, especially with the fact that I know you sit in traffic a lot. And the reason why we do that, because we don't have an identity to a community. So I'm not shopping in my community. I'm going across town a whole hour to shop in that community. But if I said, yeah, this is my city right here, I'm going to support this city. My child is going to school in this city. Now I've identified this as my resource. These are my resources. And we have to do that again. We've got to. It's going to control the traffic. As simple as it sounds, or not simple as it sounds, but it's going to do that. Our schools are going to be evenly populated because we decided to go to school in this area. Our businesses are going to thrive because we decided to support these businesses here. So definitely that. And then I do want to touch back on that communication with Gen Z. So my kids are Gen Z, and watching them talk to my parents, I have to be in the middle to explain what they're talking about all the time. I tell you a quick story too that was really, really funny, and it was on my part of a parent. My daughter at age 16, I told her, you can stay in the car, but when you get hot, get out the car and come in the store. I came back out. My child was sitting in the car sweating. And I'm like, why are you in the car? She said, I did not have the clicker to get out the car. I was like, there's a button on the car. You press that, it unlocks the door. That's that communication piece right there from one generation to the other. Because I grew up without a clicker and I had to manually unlock the car. She's never seen that before. She just didn't pay attention to the thing on the door that says unlock and lock. So that's the difference in generation and where communication can be broken down from generation to generation.
And again, I'm and tell your dog we're laughing with her, not at her. And again, it's the simplest things. We try to get so spooky when it comes to what potentially is a disconnect, and again, immediately go to judgment when it's just like, dang. And this is the privilege of having lived a little bit of life where, and again, I'm just thinking about my life, right? And it's like traveling and navigating the world of
Mm-hmm.
technology and video games. Like I started with Atari, got to the first
Yeah.
Nintendo, and I didn't like games. So I
Mm-hmm.
stopped playing at the original Nintendo. Like, so all the rest of these things that my nephews and everybody else talk about, I'm like, all right, whatever. I could care
Yeah.
less. But it's
Yeah.
funny now just to bridge what we believe is common may
Mm-hmm.
be foreign to somebody else. And again, there is a competency, generational competency, and there is, going back to something you said, there's an educational confidence that
Mm-hmm.
needs to be built
Mm-hmm.
multi-generationally so
Yeah.
that we can actually be that connected community. And
Yeah.
so if you had to give us as a population of leaders just one or two tidbits to be mindful of as we engage each other, what would those one to two tidbits be?
I always tell my kids everything that I do is for my children's children. As a business owner, as a leader, you got to think about the next generation. Whatever you're doing, thinking about how it can be duplicated from you to the next generation, how you can stand up and be a mentor to that next person that want to do what you want to do. You want to be prepared to pass the torch. I believe that's where a lot of our lack come in as well as business owner. If I own Cox and Company real estate and my friend's child asks me about real estate, it is my duty to teach them everything I know so that way I can move it on to the next generation. Otherwise, everything stopped with you. So as a leader and as a business owner, you always want to think about the next generation and definitely leaving your legacy. Like, what is your legacy going to be? Is it going to stop with you? Or are you going to move it on? It's enough room for all of us to be successful. And when you're successful, I'm successful because we are a community, and a community can thrive on one business.
Say it louder for the people in the back. I'm telling you, enough is enough on the solopreneur stuff. We got to be able to support people connecting. And I love the humility of you as a leader to say it is your duty to share.
Mm-hmm.
That is, let me
Yeah.
tell you, I'm taking that one. I got a speaking engagement next week with some business owners. It's our duty to share. And
Yes.
again, and what you've experienced in 20 plus years of a career is it's gonna come back to you. It's
Yes.
going to come back to you,
Mm-hmm.
particularly when the motive and intention of why you share is in the right place. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're leaning in with that, like, guess what? You you have an option. You have a choice. This is just information. And I sat with one of my he don't know I'm calling him my mentor, but he my mentor a couple weeks ago, and he had that very same concept of, look, it's just information that I'm sharing with you. It's your job to do something with it.
Yes.
And so being in that position to be a resource, to share the way that you just said, as a duty, as a life habit, is so refreshing. And I'm excited about you leaning in this next venture in this season of life. Kim, people want to reach out to you. People want to connect with you. People want to know how they can support everything you're doing. How can they find you?
Right now, my real estate company website is Cox, Co, realestate.com. All my contact information is there. Then the second company, my family and community engagement company, is FACES, FACES, on it, ONIT.com. You can reach me there.
All right. I appreciate it. And y'all, I'm going to make sure all of the websites are in the chat. And so y'all make sure y'all connect with Kim and make sure y'all support her taking the home the win and being a part of that council in Fayette County. And so, y'all, it has been an absolute pleasure. Continue to tune in to Hot Takes with Boss. We're going to have exciting speakers like Kim over the next several weeks. And so, Kim, again, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure for me as well. Thank you so much, Lawrence.
All right.